Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor Hamza. Thank you so much for tuning in. Well, I thought I'd talk about healing a little bit. I had somebody I was talking to just the other day, and through chat and social media, and then I go online as a distance healer, and she said that she had when she was 26, she was married, and then because she had conception of people not having in the future to be able to have to sleep, you could just be awake all the time. Then she was ostracized by her family and peers, and actually her husband wanted her to get on medication, not meditation, and and then she has been thinking about suicide lately because she just has been scared away from even that idea. So what I did was I introduced to her the concept of Om has a three. It looks like a three with a line on top, and we have the unconscious, we have the conscious, we have the meditation, level, and then we have like infinite knowledge and enlightenment. And then there's the line on the back on it, which is a whole other level of consciousness. So there's 5 levels of consciousness. I said then the 5th level, that's infinite. So that's the one, that you're thinking about infinity. So that consciousness is the one that lasts forever. And I think it went right over her head, but I was trying to explain that she wasn't crazy. She was kind of having a conception of what can be, like a fifth dimensional consciousness. And it was hard for her because she wasn't able to. She said, I'm the worst student ever. I don't reflect. So what she means is like reflecting upon her own ideas and thoughts. The reason is because they caused her so much, as I understand it, they caused her so much pain in the past. Now she's not thinking and being introspective. So, I came up with some, helpful memes to try to teach about that. Like, for instance, I said, if a flower, drinks in the sunlight, like that people, which is for the good for the soul, need to drink in silence. So I made up a meme to be helpful and post that online. Unfortunately, one of my Catholic friends came up and said, "No, you're wrong." And I said, "Why is it wrong to be introspective?" And they said, "Because Jesus is the only way and the truth and the light." I said, "I didn't say he wasn't. I'm just saying that it's good to be introspective." So it's everything. For some people are just black and white. They're not understanding the nuances of actually reflecting about your life and what your actions are, and being one in the moment. This all goes over their head, and they're only looking at things, either it's negative or it's positive, which I understand in this in this fast-paced environment. We have a lot of choices, so we have things flash us very quickly. Now we're all connected to our phones and our computers so much, in the television and everything draws you in, and you can't reflect as much because it's a lot of yes no decisions. And when I went on a live feed on Facebook the other day, and I was talking about consciousness. So to get into consciousness, when you get into your social media, if you're doing that and you're doing that on television and all that, you're getting a fragmented consciousness because your commercials are only, they're like, minute long each, but you'll get like sometimes in certain stations, what I'm saying is like, 6 or 7 in a row. They just seem to go on forever. but each one's kind of on a different subject. And then you're watching a show, but it's always broken up in segments. And then when you go on social media, you get these things which are drawing your attention to them. So there's a science behind it, how they're trying to always catch your attention, and that attention sells. So for instance, Facebook makes $84.85 a year on each person that looks at their things, so they get money for advertisements. So when your consciousness is always jumping around, what you're doing is you're getting fragmented consciousness, so you're not able to really concentrate fully on certain things. So you're definitely not merging one with your higher self. So what I propose is doing in silence and searching and doing meditation, and then you get to be more of who you really are, and react how you, not a knee-jerk reaction, but how you really are. So that's what I do in a nutshell. I try to teach enlightenment, and for people to be more of the in the moment of now, which is been out there, and there's other teachers that talk about it. Every really, really good teacher has a different way to do it, and I definitely have my own way of saying things, a different way to do it than other teachers out there. I try not to aggrandize myself. I'm always saying how I'm not doing that. I'm not saying how great I am. I'm using other teachers and masters as examples to teach about certain aspects, and that's what it's about. It's about passing on knowledge and information, and that's what I'm always interested in. I just want to thank so much for people watching my channel, and what I would want to circle back is reflection. So I was gonna liken it to like a telescope. So if you're watching how can you watch a telescope if your lenses are all dirty? So you have to clean that lens, that inner lens in yourself. Once you clean that inner lens, then you could look through it and look into the stars. So the stars really your destination away. The stars are what you can't see the stars if you're staring at your toes. So when your lens of the telescope of your soul is all cloudy, you can't see out into reality, everything. So when I would walk into I would be in Manhattan and I would go through Manhattan, and sometimes you see homeless people, and I would stop and chat with them, and I try to always help. Then a lot of the homeless people would have like cloudy eyes. You could see it. And I had one come up to me with cloudy eyes, and he just had so much fear in him and so much negativity over his life. He's not trying to react in the real world because he's been hurt so much. And when he looked in my eyes, he was surprised. He said, "You could see me." And I said, "Yeah, I could see you." So I was drawing him out just by my vision of my tension, being present in the moment. I was drawing him out and healing him. And he said he got up and ran out, because he didn't want to be present in the moment. He was scared. He was scared of his reality. He's been hurt a lot, and a lot of people, what we do and what we don't do, we're not paying attention to our reality and present moment. We're projecting in fantasy worlds, and we're not cleaning the lens of our self-knowledge, and that's what I propose. So I came out with on my website, victorhamsa.com. I have I go over it very clearly. It's a link that you can see. It's called Hamsa Meditation, and I have helpful pictures and description. It goes for a few pages of things that I personally wrote for meditation to help. So to clean that introspective. And I'm not saying for my Catholic friends, I'm not saying that Jesus, you don't follow Jesus. That's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that at all. Reiki is a non-dominational energy healing system. So it doesn't get more in religion. It gets more into the energetic systems and using that for the benefit of mankind, a universal energy, and helping others. So I actually teach Reiki, and excuse me, and I met someone just today that was interested perhaps in having me teach classes, which would be wonderful. I ran 5 miles today, being very healthy, and I was tired, so I didn't seem too enthused when I was speaking with them, but I'm definitely enthused, and that's what I'm about. I mean, that's my purpose. I feel like my life's mission is to do classes like that, and help spread knowledge and enlightenment and information, which is a blast. I mean, it's a total blast. I watch another guy who's pretty cool. His channel's 11. He has some 1111 symbols on it, and he's a healer, and he goes around United States and connecting people back to source. And it's very interesting. So I always like watching other people's journeys and about how they the people who are on journeys to teach spirituality and how they're progressing, and it's a wonderful subject. What I'd like to do is do more classes. I'm doing those, and I'd like to do some retreats. If you're interested in going on a retreat with me, I'd like to be booking some early next year, maybe to exotic locale. So it'd be like a vacation, but yet you could do your own. You'll get class instruction and meditation. There's gonna be yoga classes and all that, and maybe even Bible study. So it's all positive, nothing negative, and that's what it's about. It's about connecting people back to source, being who you really are in the moment, and enjoying life, and then knowing your life's purpose. So if you're not able to reflect, go back to the beginning, then you're not able to get back to society. You're being closed in, and healing those issues within your soul, within your aura, healing that part that you want to heal, from within yourself, to be more whole. So whole and holy, as I spoke before, are a real thing. So thank you so much for tuning in. I wanted to do a quick video. So like, subscribe, share, and it's been great chatting with you for a little bit. If you want to do anything in the comments, any comments in the comments, I'm happy to reply. I try to reply to everybody who replies. So there's a lot of interesting things going around. I'll finish up with they came out with something. It's a paint. They use nano particles, and it's 99.99%. It absorbs light, so it's like a black hole almost. So it absorbs light. So what they did was at the New York Stock Exchange, they took a 2.4 carat diamond, a yellow diamond, and they painted it with a velvet background, and you can't see it. So it's available for viewing if you're in the city and you could get to New York Stock Exchange. I guess you can go in and check it out. So that's an interesting advance that they just came out with recently. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I just wanted to and with that, one more thing thought I'd talk about. There was this asteroid that came from outer space. It went through our solar system and slingshotted out. It actually left faster than it came in. It was tubular form. Umamutu is the name of it, if I'm saying it correctly. It's a Hawaiian name. It means scout. So there's a second one that they spotted. I made up a meme about it for some information to people. So an actual astronomer who made up his own telescope, amateur astronomer, tracked it and found it. And they haven't given it a name yet, but it's going to have an I in the name, and 2, because it's from interstellar, so it's interstellar out of our solar system, and it's going to be coming in about 6 months, but it's going to be moving slower than the other one. So that's interesting, and we're going to have about 6 month time to actually view it. It's going to be about 3 stellar distances away, if memory serves correctly. So that's going to be, really interesting thing. We're getting a lot of asteroids lately, and I've been noticing. One just whizzed by us yesterday. Some other one's been whizzed by us, and the news has been out that NASA's been releasing information slowly that they're worried about an asteroid hitting the Earth. So you'll hear about this asteroid. They said worried about hitting the Earth, and Eros is one of them. And then it's 169 years in the future. So let's push that even further away, right? So there's asteroids. I think what we did was we went around, like I mentioned before, in the Kali Yuga time frame. We went around one circumference around the galaxy, and now we made it back, according to my calculations, to the times when the dinosaurs hit that asteroid, that meteor that hit the Earth and hit the asteroid that hit and killed all the dinosaurs. Where we went, actually, depends on where you're looking at this from the video. We went around this way, so we did. We went around a few millennium, and when we got back, now we're at the time where it's the same field as the asteroids, but everything moved around. So we've been seeing a lot more asteroid action lately. So it's been, I monitor that on a daily basis. It's very interesting. Anyway, so, check for that out and see what's up with these, asteroids coming around. And the governments have been coming out with an idea about how to avoid these asteroids and meteors by having rockets in outer space that would intercept and move it out of its perigee. There's epigee and perigee. It's perigee towards the Earth. So if you can catch it further enough, a little shove means a lot to a hyperbolic trajectory. So hopefully they'll be able to do that. There is in the Kuiper Belt, they were able to determine that there's this asteroid that has I think it's 100,000 tons of rare metals that they're interested in. So look for that. There's going to be a space race perhaps on for that if they could confirm. They're sending a probe to that soon. And NASA's certainly involved because they want a piece of that. So there's platinum, there's palladium, there's gold, 100,000 tons. If you would invest in a company like that to bring that to Earth, that'd be great. I think when you bring 100,000 tons of palladium to the Earth, I think it's going to devalue because there's going to be so much of it. But that's an interesting thing to transpire as well. So maybe they'll get that and bring that to Earth, and everybody will. It's good for us to have those kind of metals, because we could use them in a lot of different ways. Gold is certain. There's monatomic gold. And there's different uses for it. So it would be a good thing. It does stop some radiation and things like that, which certainly everybody needs. That's why they put it on solar probes. They cover a lot of the electronics with gold. So it's a positive substance for us. But anyway, I didn't think I talked for so long, but just went on a tangent a little bit. But hopefully you're with me and you're enjoying what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for tuning in. Either you love me or you don't. I love you. Like, subscribe, share. Namaste, everybody. Peace. Bye-bye.